Hello and welcome to Maximum Fitness. My name is Jeremy Dahm. Today we're off a 5 Mile in Farmington at the Livonia Senior Center to go over our 10th episode of Maximum Fitness. And I'm sure you've all heard about core training. Today we're going to go over core training. Core, in short, explained, is 29 muscles of the human body. And if I was going to explain to you about the core in the easiest way, basically would tell you all movement begins in the core. And in order to have a more efficient core, I'm going to show you exercises in 3 phases: stabilization, strength, and power. And with all those together, you can move more optimally in all planes of motion. Today, we're going to start off with stabilization. And that's going to be our first exercise on the floor, 7 exercises in fact, and we're going to start off with marching. And this is what it looks like. I got my hips up in the air, and I'm just going to march up and down, 20 reps on each leg. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Try to keep the hips up off the floor when you're doing this too. A lot of times you want to drop them down, but that's where the stabilization, the challenge of being in the stabilization phase is being able to stabilize, like I'm doing right now. Got 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Great. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next exercise, which is even more popular in the fitness industry, is known as the prone iso-ab, or the plank. So I'm going to turn over here, and remember, when you're doing this exercise, some people might want to get up on their hands. This is typically known as a yoga plank, but the standard plank is on the forearms. So we're going to get on the forearms like so, and a plank is nicknamed the plank because your body is flat like a board, like a plank. And you're going to be on the balls of your foot in the back, on your forearms in the front, not looking up like this, but looking straight down like so. Your spine's in a neutral position, your stomach's drawn in tight, and we're gonna hold this for 40 seconds, starting now. Remember to breathe, don't hold your breath. Halfway there. Ten seconds left. Good job. And our next exercise we're going to go into is the side plank. The side plank is actually working a different area. Typically with the plank, we're working our transverse abdominis, which is the biggest muscle of our core, which is known as our abdomen. Like if we want a 6-pack, we want a more defined transverse abdominis, or abs. Now we're gonna go into the plank. When I'm doing the side plank, it's actually the side plank, not the plank. I go like this, I get on the forearm, and I make sure I stack the feet like so, hand up on the hip. Make sure your legs aren't down like this, touching anything like this, or your feet aren't staggered. Make sure you're stacked, like so, up in the air for 20 seconds. Here we go. We can either put our hand like this, or our hand down here like this. That's 10 seconds down. This one's typically harder than the standard plank, because people neglect their obliques more than their abs. Now I'm going to turn it over to the other side. Shift down to the other side of the mat. And we'll do the same thing on this side. Stack the feet, 20-second hold. Again, up top like this or down here. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and 0. The Casio G don't lie. So now we're gonna go into the next exercise, which is our plank again, or our prone iso ab with a hip extension. This is more advanced than actually the standard plank because I'm up on one leg. We're gonna do this for 40 seconds, okay? It looks like so. Again, we're down in the forearms, but we hold up one leg and we point one toe. Every 10 seconds, I'm gonna switch feet for 40 seconds. Ready? And go. And switch. And switch. And switch. Three, two, one, and stop. Great, we're almost done. 2 more exercises to go. Next exercise here is called the cobra, or the floor prone cobra. Now, when doing this one, you're gonna be lying face down, and you're gonna make sure that this one's gonna be one, you're gonna make sure that you start off like this, have your hands, or like so, on top of the top of your hand on the floor, and the top of your hand on the floor, and then you're gonna make sure you're face down, so it looks like so. Up, and try to get the thumbs to point towards the ceiling, and then your chin comes off the mat. You just hold it for a count of 2, and then bring it back down. And do it again. Just like that. We're gonna do that for a 2 count for up to 30 seconds. Here we go. Up, 1, 2, down. 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 Up, 1, 2, and down. 3 more seconds. Up, 1, 2, 3, and down. Great. Remember, when you're doing the plank, you have to remember to keep your chin tucked in and you're looking face down. A lot of times people make the mistake of coming up and then looking forward. No, that's bad because the spine's no longer in a neutral position. You want to be down like this. Now, that's a good one to remember. All right, the next exercise we're gonna do is called the opposite arm, opposite leg hold. This one, we're gonna hold for 20 seconds on each side, just like so. You can either put your hand down like this, or like this, or like this. I like to generally do it like this or like this. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna try to keep that leg and that arm in a straight, going straight. But the opposite arm and the opposite leg are straight. You don't want this leg going down like this. You wanna keep it straight up. And you're gonna try to stabilize for 20 seconds on each side. So let's begin. Ready? Set, and go. Ten more seconds. We're gonna switch sides. And switch. We have 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Great. That concludes our stabilization phase. We'll be right back with strength. Welcome back to core training. We're going into the strength phase. And the first exercise we're going to do is a stability ball crunch. As you see, I'm sitting on the ball, and when you do a stability ball crunch, you want to make sure that just the small of your back is on the ball. See how I roll down to the small of my back? A big mistake people make is they roll too far forward and their upper back is on the ball. Then when they go to crunch, they have no resistance on the abs. So you want to make sure that's on the small of your back. Another thing to remember is don't interlock the fingers behind your head and start jerking on the neck. You want your elbows flat and chin to the ceiling. So we're going to get started. 20 to 25 reps. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And remember, when doing this exercise, it's not a big motion, like a jerky motion when you're coming up like this, and then by the time you get up here, there's no resistance. It's a resting phase. So the reason you want it to be a small controlled motion is so you got non-stop tension on the abdomen. And in order to get the results from that, you need to do good form. Good form is everything. And now we're going to go into the next exercise, which is core. It's called a stability ball rotation. So you're going back and forth. So when you're doing the stability ball rotation, it just looks like this. It's like a stability ball crossover, a stability ball rotation. There's a couple different names for it, but it looks like this here. You can either hold your hands over your chest, or you could hold your hands right here, but it just looks like this. Okay, we're gonna do 20 reps on that, so 10 each way. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Oh, those are intense. Those burn. Oh, great. All right, now we're gonna take it down to the mat. After doing those exercises in good form, my abs are really feeling it right now. Okay, I'm gonna take and put this stability ball to the side. Remember, creating a safe workout environment. Every time you do an exercise or whatever piece of equipment you have, you clear it out of the way before you go into that next exercise, because the more open air you have, the more safer of an environment for working out you have. Okay, the next exercise we're gonna go into is called the airbornes. And the reason they're called airbornes is because it actually looks like you're setting yourself up for like a free fall or skydiving. Okay, again, I'm gonna turn that hat around backwards so I got some room for my forehead. And an airborne, when you're doing an airborne, you gotta remember, it looks similar to a prone cobra, but it's not. And you're working the lower back and the rear deltoids, you know, some of the subscapular area, but mainly this is used to build up strength in the lower back. That's why they do it in airborne training. Generally in the military, this is a common exercise as well. So you're gonna take your hands down here like this. You can put your feet up like this or like this, but the knees are supposed to come up off the mat with the chin. And again, I keep the chin tucked in, just like I do doing the floor prone cobra, so my spine's in a neutral position. So here we go. Up, 1, 2, 3, and down. 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 I got 5 more. I'm doing 10 of these. Up, 1, 2, 3, and down. Up, 1, 2, 3, and down. 3 more. Up, 1, 2, 3, and down. Up, 1, 2, 3, and down. Up, 1, 2, 3, and down. Good job. That finishes our airbornes. Now we're going to go into flutter and scissor kicks. Another popular one also in the military and with swimmers to help build up the hip flexors and really hits that lower abdomen area. These aren't easy, not something to be taken lightly, but you can keep your legs up higher when doing this one, which tends to make it a little bit easier. But when doing this exercise, what you want to remember is you take your fists like this, helps prop your buttocks up just a little bit, and you keep your head up slightly. And then when you're doing that, it helps your butt be up a little bit and your hips more in alignment when doing the flutter kick. So I'm going to do these ones for up to 1 minute. Generally, I can't see my hands when doing this, so I take my watch off, or if you got a stopwatch, you just put it down so you can see. So let's get started. Got my feet, legs extended out in front of me. Generally, I don't come no lower than 6 inches off the floor. Nice big strokes. Really good for swimmers, hip flexor strength, ab strength, and endurance. After 30 seconds of flutters, now I'm going to go to 30 seconds of scissors. Boy, baby, these things are really, these get the abs burning. These are intense, you know, but I'm only doing for a minute right now. So not that bad. Ten seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Those are good ones. All right. Now we're going to go into some oblique crunches. When doing the oblique crunch, I have 2 different options when doing the oblique crunch, because I got an advanced version and I got an easier version. Again, like I've explained before, the obliques is a neglected area of the human body, more so than the actual abdomen itself. So it's good to have some other options when doing this, working this particular muscle. We'll start off with the easier version of an oblique, working this side crunch here, okay? We're going to do 10 reps on each side. You notice I'll take one hand, I'll have one hand here on the floor, and I'll have my right side, my right hand on my right ear, and I'm going to come up like so, right knee towards the right elbow, and bringing them together. And I'm going to go for 10 reps on each side. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. See how my head almost goes flat? 4 on each rep before I come up into that crunch again. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Oof, you really start to feel those right there. It promotes blood flow to that area. Okay, now we're gonna go into our next crunch, our other side crunch, which same as before, our other side. Just roll it over, have this hand off to the side. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that's the easier version. Now we're going to go into the more difficult version of this exercise, or the advanced version. And this one looks like so. Again, I'm on my side, just like before. I stack the feet, and I'm going like this. Lift up both legs at the same time. 2, 3, we're gonna go for 20 each side. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Woo, that was a good one there. Good form, remember, good form. Okay, now we're gonna go into our next set. Now we're working that left side of the body after we just got done working the right. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. That's a good set. And that concludes our strength phase of core training. We'll be right back with power. Hello, and welcome back to core training, the power phase. Well, today in the power phase, this requires a volunteer, and our volunteer didn't show up today, so we had to get a volunteer that runs one of the cameras for Livonia Television to help us out. Thanks, Nate. Well, we're going to get started with our medicine ball, or our stability ball pullover throw. So if you're doing this with a friend, you got to remember, you don't want to whip it too hard at them, but this is generally better for when you're throwing it at a concrete wall. You're going to reach back, take it like this, catch, and then Nate throws it back to me. Now, if you are at home, you never want to throw this against a dry wall. It'll go right through the wall or put a nice hole in your drywall. So only against a concrete surface it generally suits this exercise best. We're going to do 20 of these. Let's get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Oh, cool. All right, that was a good set. Now, Nate and I are going to do something I call the wood chop throw. I'm going to move the stability ball to the side because we're done with that. And what we do with the stability ball throw is, first of all, I'd like to note that I have this nice rubber matting right here, which is 1/3 inch of rubber matting, which helps absorb the shock. So if you were to throw this on your tile at home, believe me, it'd do a lot of damage. So you want to make sure you got a good surface that can absorb a lot of shock from these medicine balls. Okay, what you're going to do, you're going to take the ball to your left when you're throwing to the right, and then come back and take this leg right here into triple extension, which means pivoting. And you're going to throw the ball, and your partner, which Nate over there, he's going to catch it. Then he's going to throw it back to me. I'm going to do this 10 times on each side. So we're going to start off going from right to left and coming back from left to right. Here we go. This helps strengthen the external and internal obliques. And remember, this is a power move, so you can really slam that thing hard. Generally, when they talk about power, they talk about maximal effort and minimal amount of time. And that's 10. Now we're going to take it to the other side. Nate's going to come on over here. And here we go. 2 more. Excellent. And that finishes our wood chop throw. Now we're going to go into the underhand toss throw, which it looks like so. I'm just going to do 10 times both ways. So what Nate's going to do is I'm going to take it this way, underhand toss, and he's going to throw it back to my center, so I always got to go to the side to work my external and internal obliques. So we're going to do 10 reps on each side. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great. Now we're going to go into our rotational chest pass. Thing to remember about the rotational chest pass, just like the last one I did, the underhand toss throw, is also made to be a forceful exercise. All of these exercises I have done so far with the core are actually ones that you can throw forcefully with a lot of power into a concrete wall. But I don't have a concrete wall today, so you can use a friend. It's another option. Now I'm going to have my right foot forward with this rotational chest pass. With right foot forward, throwing with my right hand, and I'm going to turn to the right and get the obliques firing, and I'm going to throw with one hand, like so. But I'm going to create a little bit more distance between my partner Nate here, and that way I'm not going to throw the ball too hard and there's a little distance between him and I. This is a 6.6 pound ball. This is enough weight to generate a lot of power and build up some strength as well. So here we go. We're going to do 10 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Another name for this exercise is also the shot put throw. It's been used for training the people in the Olympics for the shot put. If you notice, it looks very similar to that motion. Now we're going to do our left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Awesome. And that concludes our power phase. And I'd like to thank Nate from Livonia Television for volunteering today. And this concludes our episode of Maximum Fitness. I want to thank you for joining me. My name's Jeremy Dahm. Make it a great and healthy day.